I hope you all can hear me now. And welcome to another live today. And what else can I say? Can you all hear me first? And I just want to apologize for what happened in the morning. I know you guys were unable to hear me in the morning. Can all of you hear me now? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. And if you can't, just let me know again. You guys can't hear me again. I can see all of you said hi, so mean that you all can hear me now. I can hear you. Oh, that's great. I should give a thumbs up to myself because all of you can hear me now. And sorry about the morning. I don't know, something was wrong with the internet connection. No, you guys were unable to hear me in the morning. So hopefully all of you would be able to hear me today. I can hear you. That's great. So don't forget to like the video. And I know in the morning I had a lot of all of you were really frustrated, and some of you were like, "Why did it happen?" Some things happen, and it's not me who's done it, it's the internet. So you can't blame me for that. It's the internet to be blamed. So first of all, I want to let you guys know today the life is about 11 plus. It's about comprehension. So if you have not read the comprehension, it will be in the description in this video in YouTube, or you could read the comprehension. That could be in 11 plus ALT group. You could read that. And there are questions also connected to this comprehension. So I'll give some time for the ones who have not read the comprehension. So I'll put the comprehension on. So all of you can read it for a minute, and I'll have a little side music for you all to read the comprehension if you want. And after you read the comprehension, we all can start doing the questions. So if you guys get disconnected, which is unlikely to happen, but if that happens, then you all can join me in 11 plus ALT group, or you could join me from Amishna's Learning Tuition page. And I hope you all like the new intro today, what we did. So that's good. So let's get started. Are you guys ready now? It's better than last time, but not too clear. I think it's clear now. Just refresh yourself because you'll be able to hear me now. So let's put the comprehension and have a little side music for you guys to read the comprehension for you all. So let's get started. Should I start sharing my screen now with you all? Let's do it. So this is a comprehension which is taken from your SATS paper. When you guys will be doing these SATS papers, you'll be doing these comprehensions better now. Good. So at least it's working for everyone now. That's good to know. So let me just, as a reading booklet, if you have not read it, it has 3 comprehensions in it. It has a Space One, Giants One, and the Lost World. So I'll just put the first one for the children who have not read the comprehension. And I'll put a little music for you guys to read the comprehension. I'll give you a little minute to read the comprehension, and your time starts now. Just try reading the comprehension, please, all of you. And the ones who don't have this comprehension, the best way of doing it is you could take a screenshot of the comprehension. The first one is about spacemen. It tells you about a man when he went on the space, basically about him. You could still find the comprehension in the description. I'm telling you guys again where to find the comprehension if you don't know where to find it. So this is everything about the spacemen, about this. You can just take a screenshot of the comprehension if you don't have it handy with you. And the next comprehension is about the shooting stars by a space tourist at home. That's the second comprehension you have. And this is the lost world. So that was all the comprehension you guys have. And now you have question answers now, and I'll off the music. Then we can start doing the question answers of the comprehension now. You were too fast. You want me to go slow? Okay, sorry about that. Which one were you reading? If you let me know which one you were reading, I might go back to the one you were reading. Because everybody has read the comprehension. It's the last one. Okay. Let me just go back to the last one. Is the Lost World. I'll stop here for a minute for you to read it. You can just take a screenshot of it. Then we can start doing the questions of the comprehension. Have you taken the screenshot? Should I move on now? Okay, let's start with the questions now. I think so you guys have read it now. So I'll off the music now because we need to start doing the questions. It'll take you guys really long. Yes, you can move on. Okay, let me off the music now. And let's get started. The first one is about the first comprehension. They're asking you, why is a space tourism impossible for most people? So what do you think the reason could be? It is very expensive. Yeah, you can do that. That's your first one. Seven, really good. That's the right one of them. So let me just take a text box for you guys to write it down. And it is because it is too expensive. And there's another reason, if you guys know which one was it, anybody else can tell me another one. Let me just put all your answers on the top who got it. Well, then it's too expensive. That's the first one. And another one you could say is that most people can't afford it. Yeah, it's too expensive. Or you could say that most people cannot afford it. Let's move on to the next one. All of you did it really well. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, you could say that, but we need to be, we can just say that it's too expensive. That makes more sense. And number two is, how would you get from the spacecraft to the space hotel? So, how would you get to the spacecraft to the space hotel? How would you do that? So there are lots of reasons in that. There are a lot of reasons given. There are a lot of explanations given from your creative writing. You could look that they will go on a space shuttle to break Earth's atmosphere. Uh, Space shuttle. Yeah, all of you are right. So let me just put some of your answers. So number two, the answer for number two is, if you say that experience weightless spacewalk, they could do a spacewalk basically. Another reason you could say that enjoy being weightless. Oh, sorry, I'm doing number three. What am I doing? So, number two, all of you got the answer is would get from the spacecraft to the spaceship. They would have gone to the spacecraft to the space. Uh, from there, they would have gone to from the. Let me just write it down again for you. You guys are right. They would have a spacewalk and admire. No, space shuttle, yeah. They would have taken a space shuttle. Oh my god. They would have taken a space shuttle to go to the space hotel. Good. So now we are number three. Can you zoom in? Yes, I can. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, I'm zooming out. So basically, they would have taken the space shuttle to go to the space hotel. And number three is, look at page four. If you have the comprehension, they want you to look at page four of the comprehension. And in that, they want you to tell, they want you to give two examples. How would you go on a space holiday? So, how would you manage to go to a space holiday? How would you manage to go to that? So, what are the two ways they would have text? How would you go on the space holiday? How would they go on space holiday? There are lots of things given. Admire the unique views. Yeah, you can write that. Another one, anyone? Remember the way they have used in the comprehension. Look at the outside of Earth. They would have just looked outside the Earth. Look at the Earth and enjoy weightless. Yes, you could write that also. That's also right. And remember, they are on the space. So when are you on the space? What normally happens? You can go for a walk. So they could say that they could enjoy the spacewalk. They could do a spacewalk. Do a spacewalk. Good. Kevin has also written the same one, a spacewalk. So let's write the two reasons. There are lots of them. So we can just write two of them. They can do a spacewalk. Or number two, we could say that they can enjoy being weightless. They can enjoy being weightless. Or I could again say that they could look down. They could look down to the earth. How exciting would that be, looking down to the earth? Admire, or they could admire unique views of the earth. Unique of the earth. So you could write as many you want, a different one. Also, spacewalk. Yes, spacewalk is there. And I did the right one. I did the first one for this one, and I wrote about your spacewalk for number one in that. If you look at that, it's there. So let's go on now to number three now. How much does the first space tourist pay to go into the space? How many millions? There was something about millions, 14 million pounds. Yes, all of you are right. He paid around 14 million pounds. So how much did he pay? He paid around 14 million pounds. All of you have written the right one. Roughly 14 million pounds or 14 million pounds. All of that is right. So let's move on to the next one. How can you tell the International Space Station is very large? So, what in the text tells you that the International Space Station is very large? Let me see your answers. 14, you guys are still doing the previous one. So, how can you tell that the International Space Station is very large? How would you say that it's really large? It's so big, you can see it from the earth. Good, Kevin, that's the one. You can see it from the earth. And the answer is you can see it from the earth. You can see it from the earth, and when you see it from the earth, you can come to know that it's very large because of the a spacecraft. Yeah, it is visible from the earth. You can write that also. You can see it from the earth. You can write that also. Or you could write so big that it can be seen from the earth. Good. So let's move on to the next one. Number six. How did trip into space make history? So they have said, let's read this one. And I have a dictionary who will read it for you guys.
Page 025. How can you tell that the International Space Station is very large? 5.1 Mark KS2 Item Template Version 1.1 R024117 19 February 2015 13 nach halb 1
I don't know what language
Version
he's
1 How
speaking.
did Anoshi's trip into
So, what do you think the answer is for number two now? She was the first tourist person. Yeah. So, according to you, she was the first tourist. Number six, all of you got it right. She was the first lady to have a holiday in space. So, what do you think the answer for number six is? How did Arusheshi's trip into space make history? Because she was the first woman, first tourist person. She was the first tourist person. So let's write it down. She was the she was the first lady. She was the first lady to have holiday in the space. To have a holiday. She was the first lady to have the holiday in the space, or you could say that she was the first female tourist on the space, or she was the first female tourist in the space. All of these, you could write any of these, you would have got right answer. She was the first tourist. So let's move on to number 7 now, and let's see what number 7 is. In number 7, look at the text box. Who has already had a holiday in space? Complete the table. Where did she start her trip? So, what do you think? Which country did she start her trip according to you guys? Let's see if you guys know that. Russia. Good. She started her trip in Russia. That's good. Russia R should be capital. What am I doing? And number 2, how many? Where did she stay in the space? Russia, Russia, Russia. ISS, good. She stayed in, let me put it capital, ISS. And how many days did she stay there? 8 days. Good. So she stayed there 8 days. So all of it's done. Let's move on to the next one. Well done. 8 days, 8 days, ICA. Good. So let's move on to number 2 now. Look at Anushrin's blog entry from for September 25th. Find and copy a group of words that showed that Anushish, I don't know how to spell her name, wrote her blog for others to read. So, what did she do in a blog which made others easy to read? Well, my friends, that's right. All of you are right. Let's write it down now. Well, my friends. Or another one you could write is that everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know, and well, my friend. Good. So let's move on to the next one. Look at Anushri's blog entry from September 27th. Now look at September 27th and explain how she left her name. Anushri felt about being in space that day. How do you think she felt when she was in the space? Obviously, she's doing something unusual. Nobody has ever done it before. So, how you think she would have felt? Happy that you're weightless? Yes, you can say that. And another thing, what else could she do it? She felt wonderful, good. You can tell she liked the space because of the fun things she wrote, like floating about without any effort and lifting heavy things. All of you are writing it. Good. So let's write it down now. So basically, she loved it. She really loved it. She really liked it. She loved it. And she also felt it was wonderful. And the second thing was, so it's basically this. And the next thing you could say that she said being weightless had some wonderful advantages. And she also said that she said that being weightless had some wonderful advantages. Had some. So basically, she really liked being doing all these things. Now let's do the matching one. So what do you think I could match? Happy that she felt. Yeah, all of you are right. So because she was the first woman to go on the space, so she was really excited to see that. So match the events below to the year in which it happened. So what do you think the first event happened? Where should I do the first one? Anukshish Ansari went to space. Which year did she went to space? You all need to tell me the year she went to space. Yes, she went to space in, let me take my line now. She went to space. So she went to space. That was in 2006. I need to take the typer back and I need to get this here for you guys. So that was in 2006. She went in space and the first man stepped on the moon. So when do you think was the first man went to the moon? The first man, let me just do it and see if you guys got it right. The first man stepped on the moon. That was in 1969. And Dennis Tero went to space. And when this man went to space, that was in 2001. And the last one, International Space Station, was built was in 1998. So did you guys get all of these right? Good. So all of you got it right. Well done. So we can move on to the next one now. So again, the fact and opinion. So what do you think it is? Using information from the text, tick on boxes below to show whether each of the statement is fact or opinion. So what do you think the first one is a fact or opinion? I'll do it for you guys. The first one, Anush Anushish Ansari kept on daily diary. That's a fact. And another one, brushing your teeth in space is a joy. That's the opinion. And being weightless is endlessly entertaining. That's again your opinion. And the last one, tourists can stay on the International Space Station. That's the fact. So let me see if you guys have done all of these right. Did you guys get this right now? This is what the answer was for all of them. Fact. I'll just put some of your answers on the top. Good. All of you did really well. So let's move on to number 12. In a flash, you need to look at page 6 now. What does this tell you about the burning of rocks in space? space. So what do you think they can tell you about the burning of the they tell you about burning of rocks in space. So what do you think they can tell you about the burning of I'm looking how many questions they have. Oh my god, they have lots of them. So what do you think number 12 is? We'll try to do as much we could do today or the next week and finish it next week. The rocket go really fast like oh my god, the rocket goes really fast, does it? So let's do number 12 now. What does it tell you about the burning of rocks in the space? It happens really fast. You're right. And the next one is the rock burns. When the rock burns, you get a dazzling light. And nobody told me about the rocks. When the rock when the rock burns, you get a dazzling light. Yes, it talks about the rocks, not the rockets. The rock burns really quickly. It happens so fast. When you burn the rocks, it happens, not the rocket. It's about the rocks. You're right. And when the rocks burn, you get a dazzling light. You always get a light when you burn them up. Good. So let's move on to the next one now. So now you need to take the one, find out when a meteor shower is due and arrange to go start spotting with an adult. In this sentence, the word arrange is close meaning to. So what do you think is the closest meaning to this one now? Which one? If you know the answer for this one, obviously the answer for number 13 would be the plan. I'm going a little fast with you guys to do it. And next, it's plain. It's plain. Yeah, next one. It's plan. How does information plan? Everybody got it right. How does information on page 6 make it sound easy to be a star spotter? So, what do you think it could be? You need to give me two reasons for that. How does the information on page 6? You have to look at your page 6 now to make it sound easy to a star spotter. So let's take our text box now. You guys would have got different answers. Let me write down what I think it is. You don't have to travel far to do it. You don't have to travel to it, or you could write that you don't have to leave the earth, or you could also write that you don't need any expensive equipments. Or another one you could write is you don't need to go with an adult. They don't need to know anything about space. They they don't need to know anything about. You don't need to. You can go alone basically. Let me see if what you guys have written. Now you don't need to have to be expert. That's right. You can go alone. Good. So this is the answer for this one. So let's move on to the next one. So again, you have true and false. Now let me do that for you guys, and if you guys have done it right or wrong. Let me use a purple one now. So take warm clothes, a blanket, a pillar, and a torch. That's true because it'll be very cold there. Stay close to town. That's false. Point our torch up to the sky. That's again false. And the last one, you must have binoculars. No, you don't need to. That's also false. You all are writing true, true, true. So what else you think is true? So this is the answer for number 15. False, false, false. So let's move on to the next one. Now we are on the different questions, and these questions from 16 to 24 are from another comprehension. That's the giant one. We'll try to finish at least two comprehensions today so that it makes more sense for you guys to do it. So let's get started now. Let me just take a text box now. Oh, I need a black color. So the first one is, what does the giant do to frighten the snail? So what does he normally do to frighten the snail? You got all correct. That's good. So try doing the next comprehension now. And in this, they are saying, what does the giant do to frighten the snail? They keep touching the snail. Yes, they keep touching it. And obviously, if you keep touching something, that person will get the snail would be like he'll get frightened and just go away. They keep. They normally keep touching the snail. And number two is, what does the giant do to frighten the frog now? The snail, this is the way how they frighten the snail. So the number two is, how does the giant, what does the giant do to frighten the snake? So now that he has a snake there, what does he do basically to frighten the snake? Picking the frog up, clutching in the front. He keeps, what does he normally do? He keeps picking the frog up. Touch the snail eyes, yeah? Scratch the He snatched the frog. He keeps picking up the frog. He normally keeps picking up the frog. So scary if you do that. He snatches the frog. Yeah, he keeps picking up the frog. That's also right. So let's move on to the next one now. The next one is gentle and small and frail. Which part of the snail do you these words describe? Circle the part of the snail shows below. So obviously, it will be the end somewhere here. So we leave this one. So let's move on to number 18. Gentle and small and frail. What does the word make the reader feel about the snail? So, what does these words basically make you feel about the snail? Gentle and small, because if something is small and gentle, if someone is small and gentle, how would you guys feel about that thing? Will you feel sorry about it, or you will feel have little sympathy about it? So the answer for this one is gentle and small. How did these words make the reader feel about the snail? Not cute. You won't feel he's cute. You will definitely feel like the snail is some, you'll feel sorry for it. So let's say you will feel sorry for the snail, and you will look like you have little sympathy for it. You will definitely have sympathy. How does a snail behave when it is afraid? So how you think the snail would behave when they are afraid? So what do you think the snail would, how would the snail feel? How does a snail behave when it's afraid? So when the snail is afraid, how do they behave? It's it goes into a shell. If you have seen that the snails when they feel afraid, they normally go back to their shelf. They go back, they go back into their, what's happening with my writing today? They basically they it goes into their shelf. It goes into its shell. It basically goes back to a shell. And the next thing, what does the snail do when they are scared? It quickly disappears into a shell. You could say that it snatches his eyes back in. Let's see. It goes into a shell and good. It goes back to a shelf. All of you writing it right. Well done, guys. Let's move on to the next one. Again, you have to tick. I'll tick this one for you all. Just see if you all got it right. The answer for this one, in the pitiful shell, so brittle and thin. In the line, the word brittle is the closest meaning to. What do you think is the closest meaning to? Is the closest meaning is to delicate. So I hope you guys wrote the meaning as delicate. Yes, you did. Well done. Now let's move on to 21. Explain two things that the word Imlan's craft suggests about the frog. So what these words describe about the word. If you don't know what the word means, the best thing is you should go back to the comprehension and see what the word means. It suggests about the about the frog is Emerald, Emerald. It basically tells you about the frog, that the frog has a, it's in green in color. It basically describes the color of the frog. It's green in color. And it also tells you that it has, basically it is high value. I've learned two things about this. And this is, I have described the first word is EMERALD, and scrap basically means you need to describe both the meanings of the words. So the next meaning of the word is it's green and it's small. So you could say that it means a frog is little and worth nothing. Or you could say that it basically says that the frog is little. It's really little. If you look at the frog, it's really little and it's worth nothing. First, you have to think about what the word means, and then you need to think about how the word is in the comprehension. What does it mean? So, in the comprehension, the word means that it says the frog is little and worth nothing. In the comprehension, it says about the frog that it's very tiny, it's green in color. So, you need to basically describe the frog. How do you think the frog in the comprehension you think the frog like? So now you have another one in which you are supposed to tell what does the tremendous monster mean. So in this, the monster, what do you think the monster is in this one? They have, you cannot write, they are referring to the giant. It doesn't make sense. You have to describe what does the word mean. So what do you think it is? You need to see. Sarika, I think so. You should concentrate more on the comprehension than correcting my spellings. So, what do you think it is? It's a human. Yeah, that's right. What's tremendous monster mean? Tremendous monster basically means that you could say that, make reference to the text, explain. You could say that, I would say that it's they are describing the monster, that the monster has no feeling basically. And if a monster don't have any feeling, it's a human. Yeah, I would say that. They have basically described, basically, it has no feelings. I would say that. Versus from, I'll just find the meaning of this word on the internet, what this word means, because I need to use it, how they have used in the comprehension. Tremendous basically means that very great amount scale. Yes. Extremely big size. So basically, they're referring to the giant here, because someone which is really big, a human. Yeah, you can say. I think so. I'll go with the giant. Basically, they're describing the giant as he's big. Number 23 now. Again, they're asking you, just for the joy of watching your jump, scramble, tremble, fall, find and copy two more words from the poem that show that the frog was frightened. So, what are the two words which tell you that the frog was frightened? What do you think the frog was frightened of? What are the two things which describe the frog was frightened? For 23, shivering. Because if you look at in the comprehension, it says that the frog was shivering. It tells you that he was frightened. And another word they use is trembling. If you look at the comprehension, it tells you that trembling. And also was shivering because you guys also said that he was shivering a lot. Shivering dread. Yes, you're right. So these are the words in the comprehension which tell you about the frog was frightened. And now, again, looking at the comprehension, they are telling you, I'll do this for you guys. What's the main message of the poem? People can learn a lot from holding small creatures. People should think about how their actions affect others. People are much bigger than frogs and snails. People should overcome their fear of nature. I'll go with the second one here. People should think how their actions affect others. Because in it's always said that you should think about your actions when you try to do something. Because if your action is scaring someone who is weaker than you all, that person you should never scare someone who's weaker from you. That doesn't make sense. Now 25 is like you need to circle the correct option to complete each of the sentence. The story is told from the perspective of what do you think it could be for the first one? Number 25A will be from Merrill, and then one is, or at the extract, the man entered the forest. If the man entered the forest, if you look at that one, he was careful when he entered the forest. That is your number two. Number three is, there they come to a patch where the stream was. So, what do you think it could be? It's bigger. And number four is, the sperms here was spaced. If you look at them, how were they spaced? Randomly. That's your number. So these are the ones of a number five, if you guys have done it. So, and now we are on number 26. In number 26, they're asking you how far the forest did the stream. I don't know this one. They're saying how far the forest did the stream became a considerable block. So in this one, number 26, you could say that after a few thousand yards. That's your answer. That's after a few hundred, not thousand, sorry, few hundred yards. After a few hundred yards. So how far did it normally do it? Stream became a considerable bog. It's basically after a few hundred yards. That's the answer for number 26. If you are 25, I'm going fast because you guys don't have so much time. So that's the answer for 25. Let's move on to 27 now. 7 is, how does the first paragraph suggest that characters are in the lost world? Now, for this one, they're asking you, how does the first paragraph suggest that the characters are in the lost world? If you look at the first paragraphs, how does it tell you that the characters are in the lost world? What basically tells you that? Because if you look at the one we did previously, yes, after because they were moving really carefully because they were in the lost world, they were lost. If you look at that, it says it referred to as unknown, and they entered consciously. Consciously basically means that when you're entering something consciously, it means that you're entering something really carefully. Because they entered consciously Oh, I think so. I wrote the wrong spelling. It's telling me. Let's see if it can move. Yeah. So they are moving really consciously. Another thing is it referred. It also referred. It also referred unknown. It also refers to unknown. Let me just pick some of your answers. Confused. High needs grow before us after few years. Oh, they were unknown. They don't know where they were going. You could also write they were unknown. Yeah, that's also right. Because they were not sure where they were going. Because the title itself tells you that the lost world, they were lost when they were moving inside. They don't know where they were going. Yes, you can also say that. Now 28 in the paragraph beginning there were as I say Manan compares the ignorance to different animals. How do these comparisons help the reader understand what the now the word is what does this word mean now? Look like how does they look like? Ego no I don't know how you spell it. Let's see if this is my
Iguanodos. Page 13 of 20, 27. How does the first iguanodos?
so this is how you spell this word. If you guys don't know, let's see if my dictionary can spell it.
Iguanodos.
So how you think the writer was? Oops, sorry, something was on my keyboard. Oh, I did that. What the bodies look like and the color. Yes, you could write that. Let me just go back to my text. How they basically look like. And if you look at in the comprehension, it tells you that they were big elephants. It's basically this is the way how they were describing the elephants because we know how big elephants are. How do they look like? So, what would you say that? Because we know how big elephants are. So, you could say that because we know how big animals, know how big elephants are basically, how big elephants are. And number two is you could also write that we know what lizard skin is like. How lizard and you could also write shows their bodies look like and the color. You could also say what you guys are writing because everyone would have a different answer for this one. They are huge because they are like elephants. If you look at the giants, they look like big like elephants. They are massive. You could also write that. They are massive. You look at them, they are so big in height. They are giants. Yes, you could also write like they are giants. So in this one, you could describe about different ways how they look like. This is a question in which you all can give your own. Look at the paragraph beginning. I do not know how long. Explain how the description of the. Again, you have this word. They're basically describing the giants. They're giving them a name. Let's see if the dictionary again say the name.
Iguanodos.
Ignorandos. I don't know how they call it. This is the way how they pronounce it. In the paragraph, support the idea of both inoffensive and Brutus. use evidence from the text to support your answer. You have to look at the text and then you have to give the answer according to the text how you think they are. So in this again, you all will have answers for this one for 29, and you have to give an answer for, because they are asking you for inoffensive and Brutus. So inoffensive, I would say that they act like children and they were playful. So you can make two columns here. Let me just try making two columns for you guys. My line is so bad. Let me just make a proper line. Let me erase it for you guys. Basically, you are supposed to make two lines. The first one, you all have to write in that one, you have to write about and in this side you need to write about inoffensive. You would say that they acted like children. They acted like children. And in this line, in this side, you would say that the little one played around their parents. They were bounding into the air. They were bounding in the air. Sorry, this is your evidence. This is your evidence, not this one. This is your, because they're asking you to give evidence from the text. So this is your evidence. They acted like, whatever you say that, the first one, if you say like they acted like children, your evidence would be bounding in the air, or they were always playful, they were around their parents, they were always around their parents. So you could write that. Another one, what you guys could write that is that the men did not find them frightening, they don't harm the men. So this is about your inferensive. You could write anything. And the next one, what they're asking you, the next one is the next one is Brutus mean the Brutus mean, do they used to bite? Yes, they used to. They had a huge size. They were huge in size. If you look at the size was so huge. They were huge in size, and the evidence you could say that they put their four legs around the trunk of the tree, the heads high above the, or you could write about their heads. Their heads were so big, the heads were high above brushwoods. So you could give different evidence. You could give the different evidence. Whatever you're giving, you have to give a reason why you're giving that. They were very naughty. Yeah, you could also write that they were really naughty. So whatever evidence, whatever you write in this side, you have to give the evidence on the other side. I hope that makes little bit of sense for you guys. So you could also write, like I'm not writing it, you could write about the strength in this one. And because the strength of the parents seemed to be limitless. They had a lot of strength because the way they used to walk, the way they used to carry their kids, all that stuff could have been here. So now number 30 again, you all have to give Reason for this one, I'll tick that for you guys now. So in this one, they are saying, look at the paragraph beginning. I do not know how long the word unwindly in the paragraph is the closest meaning to. So again, you have to look at the paragraph and see how this word has been used. So what do you think the answer could be for number 30? It means glumsy. How many questions left? We I'm leaving the last comprehension, so I just have 34 for this one. I think so. 35, 36. Oh, we almost done. Only 36 questions. So let's try doing it fast. And we are on 31. So let me just write down the answers for you guys now. And they are saying, find and copy the word in the paragraph 9 that suggests Melon feels part of the team of explorers. Explorers? Explorers. So in this one, you would say it's, I'm just trying, oh, I like this color. I've just written the answer for this one. And now this is for you guys. Can you tell the Professor Summerlin is an expert on dinosaurs? How would you tell that he was a professor, an expert of dinosaurs? How would you tell that? I'm just writing down the answers. Please try looking at the answers if you guys, because if you look at that, he knows the he knows what the tricks are. He knows the way these dinosaurs used to behave. The tricks are, he basically knows the tricks these dinosaurs used to do. The tricks are that the dinosaur tricks. He knew all about the tricks are of the dinosaurs. He was basically the expert. He know the way these dinosaurs, the tricks they used to play. Unknown. I know comprehension becomes sometimes becomes so boring, but it's fine. If you read the comprehension, you will really like it. He was a genius and a profession. Yeah, you could also write that. That's a good one. You could also write that one. So let's do this one now. Again, three, they are saying from the beginning of the beginning paragraph beginning, I had the same feeling of mystery and danger around us. You need to tell me five different words from the rest of the paragraph that suggest danger. So, what are the words in the paragraphs which tell you that about danger? So, you could write about, I'm just writing some of the words which tell you about danger. Just see if you guys got the same answer. The first one is a groom, and it's MENACE. Sorry. So, these are the words. See the way they have used in the comprehension, and they tell you about that there's danger going on. So these are the words I think I have chosen. You could also choose different words. So all of you getting good words. If you look at the comprehension, it tells you about, yes, you could also write groom, that's right. So these are the words. Now 34 is an easy one for you all. And this tells you using from the text of the box in the each row to show whether each of the sentence is true or false. So I'm going to do this for you all. Just see if your answers are right. Lord John saw the dinosaur trick first. Yes, obviously he must have seen the trick first and then he came to know that what the tricks they are playing. Professor Sorelin has faked the evidence. That's false. Number 3 is Professor Challenger worries people won't believe them. Obviously, Because if he tells someone that I have seen the dinosaurs, nobody's going to believe him. They'll say that he just lying for the sake of lying. And the last one, that's false. They were frightened of him. No, they were not. So this is the answer. Just check if you guys have done the answers right. I'll just put your answers on the top for you all to have a look. True, false. Yes, all of you are doing it. Really, you got two more left, then we are done for today. So let's do 25. Let me just write down the answer for you guys. Just check your answers. They are saying the mood of the characters change throughout the extract. Find and copy the group of words on page 9 where Johnson's mood changes. So you have to think about the word which tells you that his mood changes. Okay. For the first one, I would say I don't know what anyone else thinks, but this place makes me feel very uneasy. So this is the sentence which tells you about him. I'll write the sentence for you all. I should be a capital. What is this doing now? I don't know. I don't know what everyone else thinks. Then you have a comma. But this place makes me feel very uneasy. That's for this one. And what does it tells you about his mood change? You could say that in the beginning he was very excited, and in the end he was very scared. So these are the things which would tell you that his mood changes. Things feel really uneasy. Or you could say that in the beginning, because in the beginning he was very excited, and in the end he was very scared. Now, in this one, you all have to write your own. Based on what you have read, what does the last paragraph suggest might have happened to the explorers next? Use evidence from the paragraph to support your prediction. So, in this one, you all have to give your prediction. You could give different predictions in this one. You could think about they would have been dead, or they would have been attacked by someone, or they would have threatened someone, or you could say that they would have got lost. So there are different predictions you all could say, or you could say that discovering other dinosaurs, they would have discovers another dinosaur. So it's all your prediction. What do you guys think you could write? And remember, when it's 2 marks, you all would have written different about these 2 marks. You would have just wrote different things about these 2 marks here. So that's the end of the comprehension now. And this is the shortcut I have done, but you guys can go back and see how the comprehension has done. There were around three comprehensions. That's why it took so much time. Maybe next time we'll just try doing one comprehension and do it properly. That would make more sense for you all to understand. I'll stop sharing the screen now. And don't forget, everyone, we again have another session tomorrow about creative writing. Yes, you could say that they might have got lost. It's all your predictions. You all could do different predictions. Good. 7. That's a nice one. I'll just put his one on the top. So we are done for today. And don't forget, you have the creative writing class tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Hopefully, uh, I think so. The internet won't give me any problem and will definitely work for each one of you. So I'll see you guys back tomorrow. I know the comprehension must have made some of you really sleepy now. So all of you can go out. There's nice sun out and the weather is really good. You could go and enjoy the weather outside today. And I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Bye for now.